Hello. Okay, this is my second time to go live on this platform, which is StreamYard, and it should be live on my Decorizing Your Life Facebook page. I'm pretty active over there. If you guys would like to follow me there. There. Okay, so this is the Chintz Iron Orchid Paint Inlays. It is patent pending. These ladies were genius to create these. They worked on it for years and years. And they are reusable up to 2 to 3 times. Sometimes, depending on the look, you might even get more of that. It'll come and it'll have these instructions, or you can hop on YouTube and find anything you need. This is only my second time to go live on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, I would love for you to comment that you've watched this, that you're going to follow me on Facebook, all the things. That would just help me so much. I've got some help coming in January that's going to help me get more consistent with edited videos for YouTube. But anyway, okay, so this is just an example. These are going to be limited edition designs. So if you see them available, grab them because they're going to be limited. Like this chintz, I love this because you really can get away without matching the patterns up like a wallpaper technique. So there's several sheets in there, as you can see. Okay, so while I'm talking, what you do need to do when you take these out, you can take these out. There's a side with the paint inlay on it, okay, and then the side without it. There is, you can do a scissor, you can do a fabric cutter that's like a roller, you can do a paper cutter, you can do all sorts of things, but you do want to cut this off. If you forget, you can work around it, but it's a little bit more hassle because when you meet the 2 pages up, if you're matching the pattern, and many of them are where you have to match the pattern, you see the overlap, there'll be a gap. So you can lift that up and fold that over if you've already put it in your paint, but it's harder. I always forget. I get so excited I just plow in and start and forget to do this. So as I did yesterday. So here I go. So we're cutting this off. I am not matching up the patterns on this. It's a busy enough pattern. You can get away without it. It's a good idea too, but I just didn't. So we're going to just go through the steps of how to do this. These, if there is a gap where you put the seams, until they are sealed with wax or a water-based top coat, you can take your little artist brush and, wet it and and then it'll reactivate the paint and blur them together and it'll take away the line. It's amazing because this is artist grade paint on this. Okay, I'm not going to cut all of these. Let me cut one more though. But see how this can match up? But you kind of got to lay that out. All the pages that come, lay it out, number the top, whatever you need to do to kind of keep track of it if you've got a big piece. This is what you get with lives. You sit and you watch water boil here. I could have done some of this beforehand, but I didn't. One more side here, and then we will move on to, you're going to watch taking that off. Oh my goodness, I put that on yesterday, and you can literally, because you put this down, you paint your base coat, is what you do. And you can use, your base coat can be different than your coat of paint that you put this face down in. And then that gives it some variation and some different looks, and it's awesome. So I put this on yesterday and it dried. But you can leave it on for months. You could leave it on for years. I don't know. I don't think anybody's tried that because it's just come out about a year ago. And get ready. So this has been dried for 24 hours. Okay, so to get this pulled off, what I'd have to do, you take a mister bottle. I like mister bottles because it doesn't dump a lot of water in one spot. It's like a fine mist out. So you stick that on, re-wet it, and then we get to pull it off. You're gonna just freak out when you see this. It's so good. So this base coat that I have on this is my DIY paint that I sell. I do have a website. I will try to link it in the I will link it in the description. I just don't know if I'll do it right away or not. But anyway, so we're gonna let that set for the longest 30 seconds of your life because you're so ready to take it off. Anyway, and let that kind of work down. But anyway, so that is a base coat of the One Step I Sell DIY paint. This is not what it is. It's Cottage Colors is our one-step paint that does not have to be sealed because this is blonde furniture under there and I just don't love it. So I thought I was just going to do one coat on there or two coats on there and not have to seal it. But I decided to go back over with that is Vintage Pink, one coat. And we're going to show you this. I'm going to put the White Swan in the DIY clay paint that does have to be sealed. And I put that on and the paint and lay into that. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay, let's see if this is good. If this starts tearing when you pull it back up, no problem, because you just wet it and let it set for a second. You just didn't get it wet enough. That's what happened. Look at this. Ah! I'm going to get this down a little bit closer because you're going to want to see the love. Hang on. Okay. Oh my goodness, it's so good. So good. Oh my goodness. It is gorgeous. Look at that. And see how much paint's left on here? So I can use this a second and third time. Of course, it will be more fadey, but that's okay. It'll look cool. So then you would just lay this paint side up to dry so that you can reuse it. Setting this to the side here to dry. Look at that. Okay, let me hold this up. And so, see, I embraced I'm going to show you when I pull this up, you're going to see it kind of is wrinkly and pulled off the base coat to where you see some of that under there. I like that. Okay, ready? Look at this. And this part has not been pulled off. So gorgeous. So do you see the wrinkles in there that kind of left it? I love that. Okay, so let's pull, actually let me pull this up. I'm going to see if I am on here. Hang on. I'm trying to see if this is working on my, oh, it's not showing me live. Okay. Sorry, because you guys are here. Well, oh, it is on. I'm so excited. Okay. Yay. Oh, let me turn my volume down. Hang on. There we go. Okay, I can see I'm on there. This is awesome. All right. Let's pull this side off. Oh my gosh. I love this so very much. Guys, look at that. From that to this. Oh my gosh. Face screaming. Okay, see how that's a little bit fadey? I don't know if I just didn't get it put down in wet enough paint. Okay, let me show you the process now, how to do this. All right. Leave a little bit of that in the background. Well, let me just switch positions here because I want you to see the before and after as we're doing it. Saprate, saprate. Oh, okay, I am going to get on a system where I go live at a certain time every week on here. But I haven't got that lined out yet. So but I would love for you guys to comment. And if you need any of the products you see me using, I sell them all. I sell JRV, decoupage paper, stencil brushes. I sell, okay, now I did not put this on water last night, so I got to reactivate my DIY paint. The one-step paint, you can't get away with that, but the clay paint, you can just reactivate it. Anyway, and these are the brushes I sell too. So I sell the brushes for DIY, the brushes for JRV. I sell decoupage paper. I sell all the Iron Orchid, DIY paint. We got the new painterlies. Let me show you just a small sample. Artist grade. This is if you are a canvas art person, definitely. This is non-plastic, non-acrylic, high intensity, blends perfect with our clay paints. I cannot wait to try these. I've only tried one and I didn't really do much with it, so I can't wait. But so this is so spectacular. Let me just show you all the colors real quick, because I got them right here. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous colors, and more to come, okay? All right, let's get to it. I want to tell you how to do this. Let me turn this to the side. Woo! Okay, well, that'll work too. That'll work too. All right. I'm just trying to get my little system set up here, and so far, not so good. Let me do this right here. There we go. There we go. Okay. You're going to see a little bit of my thingamajig. I'll get better at this. I have Facebook Lives down. I know how to do those. But this StreamYard and all that is, it's new. Oh, and that's not good right there. Whatever you're seeing right there is not. There we go. Yeah, this is a little bit of work here, guys. If you want to gripe and complain about how bad this is, try it. And you'll understand. Oh my goodness. I had it and then I twisted off and showed you my Painterly DIY paint. And okay, well, you're just going to have to look at my tripod there. That's okay, because I don't want to keep hanging up on that, because that just, I'll lose you. Okay, so now what we do, we've got our first coat on. It's dry. This is just from my, okay, so you want to put a nice, generous top coat on, because that's what your paint inlay will go down into. And it will, once it dries, it will bind into it. And then you re-wet it like you see me do at the first of this video. And pull it off and save it for later to use on other projects. There are so many designs and there's more coming, and it's amazing. If you ever buy anything off of my website, I always try to send something free. There was one I sent out the other day that was Astoria is a retired transfer to a customer, and they're out there, but it's a tube, and I couldn't, or I didn't, because I didn't want to open up their tube and put something free in there, because some people are weird about opening their tubes. So I didn't do that because it's an old format. So that person did not get a little freebie, and I feel bad about that, because that's just, I just send you something free. Every order, you will get a little something, a little piece of a transfer to try, a little piece of a paint inlay, a resin poured mold. I will always try to give you something. So if you do order something off my website and you want to try some paint inlay or a transfer, instead of getting a free casting resin mold, let me know. Put it in the notes of your order or private message me or whatever. I'm very accessible. I do not have a big following at this moment. Even when I'm big, I have employees when I'm big. If I ever get a big following, then it's harder to keep up with all the little details that I'm able to do. and you access me for questions or whatever, hey, I have totally overdone this. You do not have to work this hard on it, okay? My brush was kind of clumped up from not rinsing it, so that's why I was overworking it. Literally, put you on your second coat, have it wet and generous, and you're ready to put the paint inlay. I'm just talking, so I went longer on my second coat, okay? But anyway, I will help you. I will help you walk through things because I can do that. And even like I said, if I get a bigger following, it gets a little harder. It doesn't matter. I will have them reach out to you. Okay. Now this is something you don't have to do. I don't even know if it's on the instructions, but I go ahead and I don't care that the water's dripping over that because sometimes your clay paints dry really fast. So it doesn't matter if that gets a little bit more water, but I just go ahead and spray the back of the paint inlay and just let that open up the fibers of the paper, and it helps you to get it in there better. Okay, so here we go. This is so exciting. So it'll just go right over the ridges of the little indentions that this has, the cutouts, the routed. Hey, okay. Hey, this is Caitlin on my live on StreamYard. Look. Oh. It's where, will you pull me up on Facebook and see if I'm live on Facebook? It's supposed to be able to where you can go live in 2 spots at once and see if I'm on there because I don't know. I'm still new at this. Usually I wait on her to try out all the techie stuff, but I didn't today. Oh no! Darn. Pop up, right? Yeah, it should be. I should be live on Facebook. Yeah. Shucks. Well, we'll have to get that figured out. Okay, so what I've done, second coat of wet paint. First coat was dry. I put my second coat of wet paint on. This is an IOD brayer. You do not have to have this. You can take a wet rag or a wet sponge, and you just want to make sure that your paint inlay image is kissing and melding with, whatever you want to call it, your piece. So a brayer helps, and then also like go ahead and give it a spray. But this is a serpentine, I think front is what that's called. It's really, and then I've got all these grooves. So I really have to kind of be deliberate and make sure that it's all contacting each other. So the brayer does help. And you don't want to squish too hard because you'll squish your wet paint out and it'll do things that you don't want it to do. Will it run it? No, but okay, right here's bubbles and it wasn't contacting. So this, I'm just kind of making sure that's contacting on my, with my fingers. And then this little indention, it kind of lifted up. So I'm so sad it didn't do, oh, Laura Rivera, thank you so much. I do have somebody watching. Thank you so much. I'm new at live on YouTube. So, and I'm new at making YouTube videos. So if you go back and binge watch any of them, it's cringe worthy, not gonna lie. But I'm going to have help putting out more professional edited. Okay, they won't be professional. That is not my forte, but they'll be better. Better watchable on my edited ones. Okay, so I'm just kind of making sure this is still wet. So you don't have to do this, but this is something you kind of watch for before you put your second one over. Okay, again, like I said, you can line the patterns up. If you're a wallpaper or you're a seamstress, this will make you cringe that I did not match my patterns. It's just a thing. So this one's very forgiving. And so I'm just, going with it. Okay, so again, I just spray the back to open up the fibers before I put it down. Not necessary, but I have found, and the IOD sisters do too, that it just helps to adhere better. You got a little forgiveness on there, but you don't want to let it set in there and then pull and rearrange this. See how I'm doing? You don't really want to. you've got a few open times before it'll start bleeding your paint together, okay? It's just a little bit harder on this really curvy drawer. Okay, so I got that all kind of down. Like I said, take a wet sponge, a wash rag, and do like this, whatever, after you spray it. Okay, to make sure that's all wet, because that's what's going to make it connect with your piece. So you can do it like this. You could do it like this. Again, don't squish too hard because you don't want to push the paint out under and into places that you don't want it. I embrace the wrinkles. I like the wrinkles. A flatter surface, it's very much easier that, you know, you don't have to have so many wrinkles. I just would caution that if you're a perfectionist, you just got to know that these kind of products, this kind of work, if you're a furniture artist, or even if you're doing this on a little craft side, you got to let that go. I do workshops and there's the perfectionist in there, and they'll be there until like next week. And you're like, I really have to close now. They just don't get it. You got to kind of let that go, or you'll go crazy. And let your mistakes make it even prettier and more creative, because you've had to add another layer or dimension on there to make it work without doing the whole thing over. I never do anything over. I'll spend more time adding and doing than it would have been if I would have just done it over. But that's just me. Okay. I will not start over hardly on anything. I'll just do something else. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now this will be just set aside for an hour. Sometimes I put a fan, a heat gun, a blow dryer to quicken it along so I can move along, because I'm impatient, but it's just, you can do that. I keep fans in my studio, or you can just let it set for weeks, days, months, okay? And go back and do this part. We're going to do this, and then we're going to wrap up. Oh, wait, I already did pull it off. I already did pull that second one off. So, oh, that one, yeah. I did a little bit of this one. So that's ready. Let me just get on here. I don't know. Am I on here? Okay. All right. So, thank you for watching. I hope to do this once a week live. And I would love for you to follow me on my Facebook page. I'm very active over there. I have a Pinterest page. All my socials are Decorizing Your Life. Decorizingyourlife.com is my website. If you need anything, private message me. I would love to have you reply on here so I know that this is worth it doing this. And yeah, if you need any help, but look how gorgeous. All I will have to do to this now, you can take a very, very fine grit sanding if you want to sand it. If you have a gap between your pieces that you missed, take a little artist brush, dip it in water, and this is before you seal it, reactivate it and just kind of blur it together, and you won't see it. If you distress it, that helps. All I will have to do now to this is take some wax to seal it, or a water-based top coat. Now, oh, big tip. Not so much with wax, but a water-based sealer, because this is active, open, artist grade paint. You will want to either take your water-based top coat, mix it 50% with water, put it in a spray bottle, and seal it. Or take a spray clear, what is it, aerosol spray. Seal it first, then you can wax or add other colors or do whatever. But this will, if you put a water-based top coat on there with a brush and you go like this, you're gonna blur the paint because it's active and open, okay? So you might set it before you, like, we live in Oklahoma. We set our curls and our style before we go out to the wind, or it's all screwed up. That's more of an 80s girl thing. But anyway, so don't forget that, because you have to have, I got away without blurring it? Yes, but I know, dip one brush. Don't go back and forth or you'll blur your little paint, which can be a look too. So, yeah, big tip on that. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see your names pop up again as I get more consistent on this in January. Thank you.